Oh, hey, we're live. We're live. Haha, we're live. Oh,
Everybody has a lost tooth today.
he has a lost tooth today. Again, another one. How many does that make for you? A whole big bunch of them.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That makes you like a 50 cents richer, doesn't it?
This makes me a 50. This makes me a 40.
Alright, we're having a technical issue somewhere or something.
30.
There we go. Alright, good morning. Well, there was somebody else in here. They've left. Well, do you want to introduce us? I thought that was what you wanted to do. Come on up here. Let's introduce me. Tell them who you are.
Everybody here's Little Spider here with me, Pops Rowdy.
Well, you could say it a little more clear so everybody could hear it. Because you know what it sounded like to me? Well, we had our muscles up in our thumbnail. Why'd we have our muscles up? Do you think? Did we stay strong on our diet on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
You did.
Strong.
I stayed a little bit strong. I stayed strong for a while, but I didn't stay strong all the way through. So, whoever's in here, if you don't mind, sound off. I'd like to tell you hello. If you don't want to, that's just the same. That's just fine too. Going to discuss a little bit about the ketogenic diet today. You know, the challenge, the collaboration we got going on is, everybody seems to be skipping out on. Excuse me. This is my not bulletproof coffee. Well, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Got to spend some good time with the families. And y'all know what I mean by good time, because anytime family gets together, there's something. It could be someone's kid doesn't want to behave, and so there's some tenseness. It could be two grown-up sisters don't get along, so there could be some tenseness. Whatever. It could be mom and dad are just horrible parents, but we still feel obligated to come for Thanksgiving. I don't care. I hope y'all had a good time. I hope y'all ate plenty of good food. Good morning. Living the Dream Homestead. Glad to have you here. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm sitting here saying that I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I really do hope that. Excuse me, I was at my sister's, and we were supposed to have the whole Thanksgiving spread, turkey and dressing or stuffing, whatever you call it, sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes. Please don't do that right now. All the stuff that we shouldn't have on this wonderful ketogenic diet, right? Now, I'm not a big fan of turkey. I never have been. So we usually make another meat in addition to turkey. And of course, let's see, there's myself, my two sisters, my mom and my stepdad, and one of my cousins was supposed to be there. And how I named them, each person was supposed to bring something. My cousin never showed up. My cousin was supposed to bring the turkey. So I don't know what happened. I don't care. I think there was a miscommunication on someone's part. I'm not going to mention who, but they know who they are, whether it was my cousin or the other one. So we had no turkey. And really, I'm the only one, myself and my wife are the only ones that don't like turkey. And even my wife will eat turkey. I won't eat it. I can't stand it. I don't know why. I've just never liked it. But my turkey never showed up. The meat that they made for would have been for me and my wife. They made just enough for me and my wife. So that's the other meat we had this year. Living the Dream Homestead was ham, but they really just made enough. Would have been for two of us because everybody else seems to like turkey. So we had 15 people there, counting all the adults and all the children. 15 people there, and enough ham basically to feed two and a half people, and the rest was sides. It says the Goonies, and you already know it's scratched up, so might as well not even worry about playing it. Long story short, I didn't have hardly anything to eat all day. My wife worked the night before, so she didn't even go up there. And I was planning on bringing her home a plate. And it's not that, by the way, it's not that I didn't have anything to eat because there were a few things there that were on the keto diet. So we get lunch, we play some cards because that's what we do as part of our Thanksgiving. I don't know what everybody else has their traditions. One of ours is to play a game of spoons. Oh, Jess, no. So, it gives me time where I need to come home. My wife will be waking up and I want to bring her a plate of food. There's no food to bring her.
Yes, sir.
And of course, poor planning on my part. What help do you need?
The Xbox is on.
Okay. I don't know how to deal with it. Why don't you pick like some little Einsteins or something on Netflix? Okay, and we'll deal with that later. Sorry, 5-year-old, need some 5-year-old attention. Appalachian Mercantile and Jess, both of you, by the way, hello. Thanks for being here. I'm glad to have you along. And just doing a quick little discussion about what happened at Thanksgiving and was I able to stay on the diet. So we got home at about 5:30 from my sister's with no food to feed my wife. And of course, I didn't plan properly and I didn't have any food in the house to make. It's not that there was nothing here, but there was nothing that would work out to make a conducive or cohesive meal. And so I said, well, I know Walmart and Meijer have Black Friday shopping going on right now, so I know they're going to be open. Let me run over here and see if I can go on the grocery side of these stores and not have to punch somebody in the face for being a Black Friday shopper. Y'all know what I mean by that because I don't get violent at all, but I'm not going to deal with some of the stupidity that I see happen on Thanksgiving or Black Friday either. So to the Appalachian Mercantile, I would say dressing or stuffing, depending on who you are, where you are, what you call it. Yeah, we all know what we're talking about, though. That is my favorite part, and so is the sweet potatoes and the pumpkin pie. Those are my favorite three things on Thanksgiving, which my gut would absolutely. Mike, some people have been asking me if that's what I'm going for, and no, not really. I just grow my beard because my wife likes it. Man, we're having all kind of technical difficulties in the house. It's either always have it on the computer or have it on something else. Little Sprout's behind the computer there, and he's trying to put on some little Einsteins or some,
5-year-old stuff.
Yeah, 5-year-old shows, little educational type shows, and we can't connect. So jump over to Amazon if it doesn't connect this time. Okay. So anyway, I go down to the Myers. And what I did is on the way over, I looked, are any of these restaurants open? Because, some places open on Thanksgiving. It turns out more are open on Christmas evening than they are on Thanksgiving evening. I get down to the Myers Walmart and Myers are basically right across the street from each other in our town. And I get there in both of them parking lots. There is not a parking spot available in either one. And then, they sit 200 feet off the road or something like that. And out by the road, there's the little restaurants, the chain restaurants, and a couple of gas stations and banks, things like that in front of them. So not only are their main parking lot full, but all the outbuildings parking lots are full, and it is spread well past where their main parking lots are. Needless to say, I'm not going in to deal with that. I thought I would if it was a little less busy, but no, I'm not walking a half a mile to go into a store I don't like to shop at anyway on a day when people are going to be crazy shopping. So I turned around and I hit the one restaurant that was open. It was pizza. So needless to say, I took a day off of my diet. Then I said in my infinite wisdom yesterday, if I'm going to be off my diet for Thanksgiving, I'm going to eat a Thanksgiving dinner of the stuff I want. So I took 2 days off my diet. That said, I'm back on today. I got on the scale this morning, and amazingly enough, and to me it really is amazing, I am only 1 pound over where I had been. So this week I gained a net of 1 pound. Now I will say that probably by tomorrow I'll be down 3 pounds because all that weight I gained is most likely water weight. But yeah, I failed this week, and if there's anybody who's on here with us that is partaking in the diet, whether you're partaking in the challenge or the collaboration,
Guess what?
feel free to sound off how you did on Thanksgiving. Food Forest Permaculture. Hello, good morning. Thanks for being here. Yes, sir.
Guess what pound I'm at today?
51.4.
No.
What?
50.8.
50.8 still? You've been there a while. That's a good weight for you to be at though, because you're not too tiny like a little beanpole, but you're not chubby like your daddy either. So I had a good Thanksgiving, and I hope you all did as well. And I'd like to change the mood a little bit. Put your shirt down. Sorry, 5-year-old being 5. Change the mood for a little bit. I got a notification of 2 homesteading families. One that I'm just recently started following, and I had it and I'm liking, and so I'm sorry, but one gentleman, they were sitting down to dinner, and his dad, sitting down, being jolly, having dinner, and passed away right there at the table. Sir, if you happen to come across this, please know that my family and most immediate and, good Lord, if I could talk, my family, both immediate and extended, all send our deepest condolences. I know in your post you were not downtrodden. You know your dad's final resting place, and you seem okay with that. That doesn't mean that it's still not a loss, and moreover, it happened on a holiday. Our deepest condolences to you, and I am so sorry I can't remember your name right now. It'll probably come to me before the end of the video. And I would also like to say the very first homesteading channel I ever followed, whom I have taken a lot of advice from on the home. Turn that down a little bit. Turn that down a lot. The very first homesteading channel I followed, the first homesteading channel that I started taking advice from, and the channel that not only did I take homesteading advice from, but I followed some of their spiritual page. They have 2 different pages. on YouTube, and they have a Patreon and all that. But at American Homestead, Zach and Jamie, that one kind of hit me. I mean, I didn't ever meet them in person, but I've been following them for a long time. And she passed away on Thursday, and Zach, if you happen to watch this, you have our deepest condolences as well. And I know that you two will be back together in eternity when your time comes. And I know that that is a comfort, but it's still a loss. And you have our deepest condolences. And I hate when I see stuff like that happen, especially on a holiday. So, pardon me, guys. So just a quick moment of silence. Okay, I don't want to do that for too long on a live feed, but thanks for observing that with me. To both of you families, don't hesitate to reach out if we can be helpful. I know we don't know each other personally. That doesn't mean anything. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to stay up with the comments. Living the dream, if you're still in here, I know a lot of people have chosen to go on keto due to various diseases, and I have seen a lot of studies where it's helping with a lot of diseases, and it's helping with, I don't know if it's considered a disease, but like autism, autistic children are becoming less symptomatic. I don't want to claim that the ketogenic diet is the be all end all cure all of everything that's out there, but I know a lot of people are solving a lot of at least the symptoms of various diseases. Yes, I don't have any right now. I have to go to the store in a little bit. I don't have any. I have to go to the store in a little bit.
Who ate all the grapes?
You did. So I don't have a full agenda, hours worth of stuff to talk about today necessarily. Of course, I always say that, and I wind up talking for like an hour and a half. I hope that those of you who were following any sort of diet are able to recover. I don't think everybody, I bet hardly anybody. There are certainly some out there who did successfully remain on whatever diet they happen to be following. I don't take that from anybody, but I doubt there's a whole big percentage of people who did. So those of you who did not, I hope you are successful in jumping back on the wagon. And again, a few channels. I'm still calling y'all out. You said you wanted to be a part of this. Let's get some videos in there. Let's give old Papa Sprout an update on how you're doing. Let us know you still want to be in there or something, and things like that. So we're moving into the crazy days of Christmas. Hello to the Reap What You Sow channel. I'm glad to have you along today, guys. Thanks for stopping by. It makes me feel good when a channel who has never met me in person stops by, and one who I followed. So Reap What You Sow, Food Force Permaculture, J-Love, all of you guys living the dream. Oh, I get so thrilled. I get tickled when someone stops by. But we're moving into the Christmas season and the hustle and bustle and the gotta go, gotta move, gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta buy. And I want to encourage everybody to take a breath. Take a breath, plan things out, especially your food. Stay peaceful, stay calm. be intentional, and don't just go out and buy just because it's buy. I was talking to my wife last night, and um, we I said to her, I wish I could load up my living room with I wish I could load up my living room just wall to wall, floor to ceiling with presents for my kids, because I have some really wonderful kids. They of course they misbehave. All kids do, but nothing like some kids I see. And misbehaving is part of growing up, really. That how do they learn that something is wrong if they don't step out of line here and there? But for 5 years old, he is extremely responsible and a hard worker, and he's doing well in school. And well, it's homeschool, but you get my point. For 16 years old, he's a 16-year-old, and he tries to be lazy, but at the same time, he's a good kid. He does take care of his responsibilities, and when I say a word to him, I don't even have to say much and yell very often. Usually when I say a word to him, he straightens up and takes care of his business. And for 19 years old, y'all, listen, I don't know any other 19-year-old. I don't even know of any other 19-year-old who is in essence a business owner. He's not a business owner, but he really is in essence a business owner. And he takes that seriously, and he works hard, like physically hard labor, 8 to 10 hours a day, and then comes home and he's gentle with his little brother, but he's also firm. He'll be a good dad when it's his time comes. But big sprout. I'm blessed with good kids, and I wish I could, floor to ceiling, wall to wall, give them presents. But the fact of the matter is, that's not good for the kids.
Also, Bill's friend is also called.
You're right. I don't think that's good for the kids, to just be given and given. They deserve better than we can do for them most of the time. That's true, but they're
going to give it away.
I don't want to spoil them at the same time, So I say all of that to say, when you're out and about, be intentional, be peaceful. Make sure you think about what you're doing, especially when it comes to your diet. And what are you planning? Whatever you do, what is the plan for that? There's people going around asking you, what are you adding to your homestead next year? I think that's a great question to ask. But how can that relate to just life in general? How does that relate to your kids? What are you adding to their life next year? And if you think like that on your Christmas shopping or Hanukkah shopping or Kwanzaa shopping, whatever it is you shop for, I think that you will be at more peace in everything you do. I could be wrong, but that's my philosophy in life. But make sure when you're going out, you've eaten ahead of time. If you're trying to diet, that is. I don't want to see. I'm trying to move so my glare's not coming back at you. Sorry if it is still. But if you eat before you leave the house, you're less likely to go out to, whether it be the farmer's market or the big box store, less likely to go out there and junk out on Snickers bar or honey biscuit at the farmer's market. Hey, they might be good and they might not be bad for you, but are they good for you on your diet? I hope everybody's got a plan. I hope everybody is seeing their diet through overall. And I don't mean to suggest taking a meal off or even a day or two off of your diet is the end of the world, but you need to, for your own health and well-being, you need to pick what you've got and stick to it as much as possible. Things happen. Yeah. And I feel like I'm rambling. So that's my thinking and my hope. I hope that I'm kind of hoping somebody will jump up with a big question about what are you this or what are you that. I've said to you all the last couple of weeks I've got more videos coming, and I do. Everybody's, I think, slowed down a little bit with the holiday, and we're one of them. And we both work full time. My wife is my backstage support. She does most of the editing. Let me correct that. Unless I do it on my phone, she does all of the editing. I tried to make some videos with our non-phone camera. I tried to make some videos the last couple of weeks by myself so that she could edit them, and man, I just botched them up so bad we had to start over. If you guys watched the keto pumpkin chaffle waffle video, that was one I tried to make by myself originally, and we threw it away. We deleted all the footage and started over. And there was something else. I can't even remember what it was now. Same thing. So it's a matter of our schedule. But again, we still have this coming week that is going to be kind of slow. And I'm growing 4 kids next year. Yeah, I actually am. We are going to do our garden plot. We've got a lot of things planned out for it. We have a collaboration in mind. I'll tell you what the collaboration is. I'm not going to tell you who I'm recruiting to be involved in it yet. The collaboration I have in mind to do is for people to do whole meal plots in their garden. I'm not going to suggest what someone does with their garden as far as how they plot it out, but I'm going to take probably a 6x6 area. Well, it's going to be multiple 6x6 areas in my garden that is 6 feet by 6 feet. And I'm going to put in that 6 foot by 6 foot section everything I need to make a whole meal out of my garden. Oh, what's that mean, Papa Sprout? Okay, everybody's heard of a salsa garden, right?
Yeah.
You have? What do we grow in a salsa garden?
Salsa.
Salsa, everything that we need in order to make salsa. Well,
Like tomatoes.
Well, tomatoes would be one of them. The thing I want to do is take a 6x6 plot within my garden, and I want to do whole meals. So one of those 6x6 plots is going to be a pasta garden. That's the one I've been using. That's what I've been using as an example for the people that I'm trying to recruit in to do this. Wait a minute, you can't grow pasta in a garden. Well, that's true, and it's not true. What we can do is in that 6 foot by 6 foot plot, we can grow everything we need in order to make marinara sauce, for example. And let me tell you that, yes, if I wanted to, I could grow wheat and mill it down after it's matured and make traditional pasta. I'm not going to do that being on keto, but as an example. But okay, well, how do I finish that and stay on keto? Spaghetti squash. So I can grow spaghetti squash, and when it's ready, I pick it. And I've already picked the tomatoes and oregano and basil and whatever else I'm putting in my marinara, and I've made it up. I pick my spaghetti squash, and I cook up the spaghetti squash properly, and I've got spaghetti noodles and marinara, and I've got a whole meal. Another possibility would be a pizza garden. It's a lot of the same stuff for your marinara sauce, but then you might add a inoculated log to grow some mushrooms. If you like mushrooms on your pizza, some green peppers, some bell peppers, things like that. Now, this garden is going to take some planning because some of those things that you would have on a meal or within that whole meal may not grow well together. So you may, and I have to research this, so don't take what I'm saying exactly to heart right now. But in my 6 foot by 6 foot plot, I may over here have to plant my tomatoes, and then way over here, catty corner from it, plant my oregano. You know, that may not be exactly the case. It may not be those two things, but I have to figure that out. And the challenge is, what if they need to be farther apart than that? What did you want me to do with this? Oh, I'm under arrest, I guess. I got one handcuff. Here you go. J-Love, I haven't talked to him about it yet, but that's actually someone I was considering talking to. I want to get an answer from a couple people because, well, just like with the keto collab I'm doing, I didn't want to call out every single person who said they wanted to be involved in it because, you know, let's let everybody else call someone if they want to. But I want to, he's on my list of kind of next. I've reached out to a rather large channel about this. And before I gave them the details, they said they don't do a lot of collaborations, but they are interested in hearing my idea, and I've sent it to them, and now I'm waiting on a response. So I gotta approve a comment here. I don't know. Oh, you let it in. All right, someone let it in. Wait a minute. Where'd it go? Oh, there it went. Okay, somebody let it in. Thank you. I know I've done a few lives, but I'm still new to all these notifications that show up. So Nathan, Jerry, I don't know which one of you, if it's not both of you are here, but thanks for being here. And bulletproof coffee is not a requirement to be here. It's just a suggestion. Coffee's coffee for those that like it. I'm not a big fan of coffee myself. I mean, I like a Starbucks, not coffee. You know, what is it, that thing? I only like one of their drinks, and it's this time of year too. Peppermint mocha. I think it's a frappuccino. It's the ice crunched up one. See, I don't even like it enough to know what it's called, but I do drink bulletproof coffee, 1 glass in the morning while I'm on the diet because it's supposed to help increase your metabolism and all that. I don't know if it does or not. I don't want to hear that stuff.
Why?
I just don't want to hear it. That's not really a good game for you to play, to be honest. So let's not play like we're playing it all day. And J-Love, Farming Our Backyard, you two are also on my list of contacting about this whole meal gardening collaboration for next year. But again, I want to hear back from the big channel that I contacted. This way, when I contact the next set of people, say I've contacted them and they're in, or I can say they're not, but I don't know. I want to be able to almost use it as an advertisement. That's not right. I don't know how else to say it though. Yes. Spit it out. No. In fact, I don't even want you to have this because what you did with it last night. Look, Farming Our Backyard, I'm right there with you in general. I am not a coffee person, and I'm just throwing my support behind you. You know, in contradiction, for lack of a better word, of what J-Love said. Doesn't make me sad for you. It makes me think you're kind of smart because that stuff can be pretty nasty. When I do drink coffee, it's about half cream and half coffee, and then some of the. If you go back on our keto collaboration, Nodo Acres has made a cream for his coffee, and that's his whole video on there. and whatever the name brand of the sweetener is, I don't remember it, but that's Food Force Permaculture. Howie, thanks for stopping by again. Thank you. We'll see you at some point in the near future. Enjoy your day. I drink my coffee with about half cream and half coffee. It's probably not quite half cream, but you get my point. And the same name brand of sweetener that No Dough Acres uses, the name brand I use, but may or may not be the same flavor. The cream is what really is supposed to fill you up when you drink coffee. Well, like Bulletproof coffee has cream and butter in it, and coconut oil as well. And it's those three fats, the butter, the cream, and the coconut oil, that they fill you up. And I tell you, Grandma and Grandpa, when I was growing up, Grandpa had a cup of coffee all day. That was all he drank. And he drank his with milk and sugar in it. You know, that last little bit where all the sugar was, is I'd take that drink when I'd go get him another cup of coffee. And, you know, it was sweet, but, you know, Grandma took hers black, and it was, Grandma, let me have the last drink. You won't like it. Oh, let me have it. I like Grandpa. You won't like it, but here you go. And, it was, shivers of the nastiness. And that's how I am with reference to coffee. And give me the thing, both of them. So I don't feel the least bit sad for you. Sometimes it's more of a chore for me to get up and make the coffee than it is to just do without it. So let's see. So that's what I'm growing next year as far as I'm going to grow the staples. If you all watched the first live in reference to the keto challenge, I'm going to grow a lot of greens and green vegetables in general. Zucchini, lettuces, spinach, kale, cabbage. I'm going to grow all of that stuff in my garden. But I am going to take and have some fun with reference to the whole food plots. And I want to do that to my boys are all interested in gardening, but to a different degree. And I kind of want to do that especially for my younger two boys who have PKU. They can't eat they can't eat any animal products. They are vegan through and through, but even at that, they can't eat like beans and stuff. So, I want to do that to show them as they get older and ready to go out on their own that they have an option to grow their own food and stay healthier. I don't even know why I haven't thought of this before, but it just popped in my head several months back. I've said it here and there. And to me, it just could be a lot of fun, I think. And so I guess since I've said that, if anybody wants to be a part of that, if you would, or you can say it here if you want to, but send me a message too, and I'll make sure to get the list together, and we'll have a lot of fun with that. I think next season. I don't want to really start the collaboration on it too much before the keto collab I'm in ends, but that's just because of the timing. Like I don't want to. Hey guys, it's December. Let's start our whole food collaboration, and then we can't really put any videos together about it, too early. Little Sprout wants his Halloween costume on. That's what we're doing. He was Fat Man for Halloween. Are you sure? I thought it was fat. The one thing I think. All right, go ahead. One thing I think we could do ahead of time is maybe if we start. I have to double check myself, but I think most of the planting in my area starts in March, the early season stuff. So maybe at the end of February, end of February, we could put together a video of this is what I'm doing and this is how I'm planning it. And I'm drawing up my plans now in the garden and I'm, blah, 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 things like that. What? I did. You just taking it off because it's getting old already. You put it on and off so much, it's not holding together. Well, that's the way Velcro works. So, but over the season, do a few updates or talk about, I'm pulling my tomatoes today and some oregano and et cetera, and I'm making up marinara sauce. And you can do something like that as a video to add to the collaboration, to keep it going kind of thing. And then at the end of the season, you can't do that. We have to be really careful. I don't think that would be an infringement. Somebody could get kind of persnickety and tell us that they copyrighted that face mask and stuff. So we got to be careful with what we put on. Two family homestead, Sherry Darrell. I don't know which one you are. It doesn't matter. I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for stopping by. I would. It is. Let that down so Daddy doesn't get distracted by it. And anyway, the collaboration in my thinking right now would end towards the end of next season with making a video of the meal you've made out of your whole meal plot, or maybe multiple videos. If you do, like, I have to get my paper back out, but I told you, stop. I don't know if that's going to be a problem or not. I don't want to take the chance. I'm going to do a salsa garden. That's not really a whole meal, but I may, we could put that in there and if you do salsa garden too, you could put that in there as a video of look at the salsa I've made. These are the ingredients. This is what I've done. I've made the pasta garden and this is what I've done. And for me, if somebody does go all the way through and they, you can sit back now that the mask is off and be in the screen. If somebody does grow wheat and mill the wheat down once it's ready and makes pasta, I mean, that makes the traditional pasta noodles. That, in my opinion, could be a video in and of itself. But then they could say, here's my way I made the pasta. Here's the pasta cooked up, and here's the meal. And I mean, I'm not real stickler for rules on collaborations when I start them. I mean, if somebody else starts them and says these are the rules to be involved, hey, stop it. I do not want you having this, and I'm not going to keep telling you. That's their collaboration, and if I'm going to be involved in it, I'll follow their rules. But me, I just want to see what everybody's doing. I don't, I'm not a big, you have to mention my name in every video you make for the collaboration or anything like that. Some people are. I'm just using it as an idea, and let's support each other a little bit with, making videos and sharing playlists of each other's stuff or whatever. That's kind of my thinking.
Whoa.
So how do I grow pasta? Okay, I don't. If a person wants to grow wheat, I mean, there are different ways. I'm just using wheat as an example. If they want to grow wheat and then harvest the wheat berries and mill them up to make flour and then add the salt and egg yolks and things like that, which I think that would be even better if they had their own chickens. I mean, that would be one of those. This is a whole farm meal if they can have all those products. But make up their egg noodles, if you will, and dry them out and cook them. Hey, great. But what I'm thinking for my pasta garden, Sherry, is I'm going to grow spaghetti squash to have the spaghetti noodles with it. Other people may have other ideas, and I'm open to it. I can't sit here and tell you I know everything by any means. I certainly don't. And then that's part of the other thing about collaborations is not only are we kind of helping each other on the YouTube here, but we could learn to do things differently for each other, from each other. I think another whole meal I'm going to do, and I really have to look at this one, it's just something that's in my mind, is I'm going to do like a fruit salad meal. My little ones, again, having PKU, they can't eat protein and stuff. So a big portion of their diet is fruits and vegetables and a little bit, but minimal grain. So if I can take a 6x6 plot and grow 3 or 4, even 5 of the fruits that they really like. Now, there are some things that they love that I won't be able to grow in time. But if I could grow watermelon, cantaloupe, and honeydew together, I mean, that could be a fruit salad for them. So I just have to, I'm gonna have to look into that one. That just popped in my mind too. So I don't know if that answered your question or not, Sherry. I hope it did. And if it didn't, tell me and I'll figure out another way to say it. Of course, I see your kind of laughy face after, and you may not even been trying to ask a real question. I don't know. You may just been being a smart aleck. You guys get me sometimes. No, sir, I do not. Because it's 11 o'clock in the morning almost. I don't know. He's a grown adult. He can make his own decisions. Man, I should have came up there, Jerry. After what happened at my Thanksgiving, I should have just drove up there. Let's see. I mean, I'm kind of out of things to say. If you guys want to be a part of that whole food collaboration when the time comes, we'll make it happen. I think it's going to be a fun thing to do, whether you're videoing it or not. I'm already planning out my garden, but not like intensely. I think, in fact, I might. When I put up the keto collaboration about a week before I started putting it up, I asked in one of the YouTube homesteader groups I'm in, if on Facebook, that is, who wanted to be involved. And I'm going to say only one person who said they want to be involved is involved as yet. They're in the chat. Hi, Sherry. Thanks. Glad somebody's sticking to their word. Live means that I'm on camera right now, and whatever happens. I can't edit it out. The people who are watching it see it on a 1 or 2 second delay instead of a 2 or 3 day delay like we normally do. Well, sometimes it gets that way. 20-pound turkey. That's a lot of turkey. Sorry, guys. I know everybody has their own. Oh, you better get busy, Jerry. Quit typing in here. Go get the eggs. All right. I'm glad to hear that. We'll keep that in mind. I'm gonna write that down here as soon as I end this live stream. I mean, Jess hasn't jumped in and said she wanted to get in on it. I'm surprised. I'm not putting any pressure on you intentionally. I'm just, you seem to be into gardening pretty like you have a lot of fun doing it on your videos. It looks that way. So I thought you'd be like jumping in like, oh, me, hands up, dancing and everything. Anyway, that's what I'm growing next year, unless some massive major things change. And there are some massive major things on the horizon but that horizon could be, a year from now. It could be 10 days from now. It could be 10 years from now. I mean, they're right there. We're looking at them, and nothing's changing. And it's honestly not anything I want to change rapidly anyway. But I don't want to say what it is because I don't know who watches my videos, and there's some people that could be affected by it that I don't want to put the wrong thing out there in anybody's mind. I don't know right now. Okay, we'll talk about it in a minute. Well, y'all, I think I've said everything I want to say, and nobody's asking any questions recently that haven't been answered. So look for a post here soon in one of those Facebook groups that we're all in together. And if you want to be in it, I will write you down, Jerry. I will write you down on the list right now, so you don't have to comment there. It says rad. But if you don't mind, it'd be just the same. I'd enjoy it, and or I'd appreciate it so that I can make sure. But I want to start because I think actually, the more I think about it, there are some people that are planning pretty and I understand that, J-Lo. I don't know, just the way you garden or the way you seem to be in your videos about how you garden. I just thought you'd be like, oh, that's great. But I understand your position, certainly. But that's what I'm growing next year in my garden. Of course, I am. Hey, salad can be a good meal, especially if you can grow a chicken and put some chicken on it. Maybe you can grow. I'm just kidding. I am also planning on growing bees next year. I'm not sure how it's going to work out yet. I have to see as we get into the spring. I may be doubling the size of my apiary by way of splitting the bees that I have. So I would go from 2 hives to 4. But that's not a guarantee. I am absolutely certain that the bees are going to make it through the winter this year. They've got massive amounts of food stored of their own work. And then I am going to, I've said it, I'm going to be adding the candy boards. I want to say it that way because I haven't got the video up yet. But so those are 2 things that I plan on growing that also fall within the confines of the zoning laws that I haven't gone too rogue on yet. But again, we just have to see what kind of other changes happen. Because I have lots of ideas of things to grow. I might grow a high tunnel. I won't do that here though. I might grow a couple of a building. I might grow a building that I can sell product out of. Oh, I'll tell you something I forgot to mention earlier, y'all. Soap is up on the website. She updated it with a couple of things that are ready. She updated it last night. There are 4. I know whatever number I'm saying is going to be wrong, but I think it was 4 new types of soap, new types we've already had, but are remade, restocked. There are 4, 5, 6, 10. I don't know. Soaps that are remade. One of them is from the new all natural line. There are lotions that are uploaded and or they've been up, but the numbers are corrected based on, because I think she went in right after the HOA and just took everything down to zero and said we're completely out of stock, because we've been trying to, well, we basically sold out over there. And we had to get everything settled and back in its place to figure out. So anyway, long and short is it's been updated with the stuff that we still did have on hand, plus the new stuff that's been remade. And there's going to be new things added shortly. We're doing new lines of items, like I said last week. Let me catch these up really quick. Jess, could you maybe start your tomatoes inside a couple weeks earlier? Would that maybe line things up so that instead of putting a little seedling, like this in the ground, maybe you could put one like this in the ground. Would that help get your lettuce and tomatoes to match up? And then another thought. Hey, stop. Sorry, guys. Another thought is if it's leaf lettuce, is to keep it trimmed. If you let your leaf lettuce go, it bolts, and that's when it gets nasty for the most part. But if you can keep it trimmed, have a salad a day. With that, that could stretch those two things could stretch your lettuce to growing later and your tomatoes to be ripening earlier. I don't know if that would work 100%. It's just a couple thoughts that came into my head. I don't think that the growing lettuce later part would necessarily work with like head lettuces, but the leaf lettuces and the spinach and kale and the like, it would. I know that every time you trim back your lettuce, it gets more of usually a bitter taste, or depending on what kind, it could get a real peppery taste. But those are a couple of thoughts that I had that might help you. If you probably could, if you have a greenhouse of some sort, even put your tomatoes in like a month earlier. Just a thought for you. But I know what you're saying. I do, because I didn't plan like that last year either. I just was like, I'm throwing this in the ground. Just a couple thoughts. Not at the moment. I will in a few minutes. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to have to go ahead and end the stream pretty quick here. Because I have a 5-year-old who wants some dad attention, and that's far more important than YouTube. I thank everybody for being here, for all the thumbs up I've given. To my few moderators that have been in and out today, thank you very much for the work you've put in. I saw one comment pop up that needed approved. There may have been more that I don't know, but thank you for dealing with that. It's most appreciated. Everybody, please go through and look at the other channels who are in here, and if you think they have content that you might like, subscribe to them as well. Don't necessarily expect them to subscribe back. That's a big YouTube no-no, and I understand that.
Big YouTube no-no.
Although I bet everybody in here is subscribed to everybody else in here, because we are all of the same persuasion. Farm in our backyard. Enjoy your day with family and enjoy your dinner, lunch, whatever it's going to be. Have a nice day. Be careful in your travels. And everybody else, again, thank you for being here. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate having had a few moments with you and you taking the time out of your day to listen to someone like me. Remember, this is the day that the Lord has made. Always rejoice and be glad in it. Hug your loved ones. And y'all, if I don't see you beforehand, I will see you next week. Have a nice day.